Khorne here, and today I will be giving you my initial impressions on the new additions to the Shadows of Tzeench DLC. Now, to be honest, I wasn't really expecting much in terms of a good update or anything particularly useful in terms of units. But I was hoping we would get some more new ways of playing these factions. And while some additions did surprise me, others were really quite disappointing. Let's start off with the changes to Kislev. They got a new lord type, the Družina Lord, a legendary hero, and a couple of new units. The new units they get are the Kislevite warriors, which are a tier 1 halberd infantry that you can recruit from just your settlement buildings, meaning they are easy to recruit and easy to replace. But how good they will actually be in your armies remains to be seen, as they are basically only there to hold the line while your Cossairs deal the damage. The thing is though, that they will always suffer massive casualties. This is because they have the Buyer Blood ability, meaning they will stand and fight most likely to the bitter end. This would result in you having to constantly re-recruit them, which, as I said, isn't all that difficult, but you're still wasting money and losing experience by doing so. Basic Cossairs, on the other hand, are cheaper to recruit, maintain, and they dish out damage, so they kill the thing that is killing them, while also not being all that terrible in melee. So I would really have to play a bit of Kislev to determine whether or not this unit will be worth recruiting. The Frostworm, however, is not something I think Kislev really needed. Just like how I think that the things in the woods and elemental beasts are not amazing additions either. However, Frostworms are a tier 3 unit which you will be able to recruit in one turn. They are also located in the building chain from which you get Warbear Riders, and you always will be building this in your campaigns. This would mean that you could make a really early Doom stack with them in combination with Patriarchs, much stronger than a Snow Leopard Doom stack. However, considering how expensive they are, if you aren't going up against a really tough opponent or an endgame crisis, I would much rather just get one in your army if that army needs a siege attacker, as the other siege attacker units are all either at tier 4 or tier 5. The new lord type, the Družina Lord, is in my opinion much better than the regular boyars you get. It is a hybrid unit that also boosts your early game armies by quite a bit, providing you with casualty replenishment, combat stats for your Cossairs, Akshina ambushers, and the ability to replenish ammunition, in comparison to a boyar who is basically just a melee character and nothing more. Ice Witches would probably still be the go-to option for lords in the late game, as they can get some very powerful traits through the Ice Core training, and they also get a new mount with the Frostworm, which makes them a bit stronger on the battlefield, gives you siege attacker, but also makes them a bigger target for the enemy. As for the Golden Knight, it's not really all that amazing in my opinion. It does boost the accompanying lord by quite a bit, also boosts Zagad and Frost Maidens by a small amount, is a really good melee combatant, but overall not an overly impactful nor interesting hero to have in my opinion. Now, as for Cathay, they get a new hero type, a legendary hero, and a couple of new units. They also got some changes to their technology tree to apparently give you more of a dilemma as to which technology you want to research first. But honestly, these changes are not at all noticeable. The new units are the Celestial Lion, a tier 3 unit, and Moonbird, a tier 4 unit, both of which are recruited from the same building chain and are not really something I think Cathay needs. Single entity monsters aren't good units on their own, unless you make a Doom stack out of them or have a way to heal them, in which case they become very powerful. So recruiting one or two in your armies doesn't really make sense to me. Not to mention they are quite expensive to maintain, and the Moonbird takes multiple turns to recruit. For the same price as one of these units, you could get 3 to 4 peasants or 2 to 3 Jade warriors, which in my opinion will better perform on both the campaign and the battle map. So really, these units are just fluff to me, something that was added purely to give you meaningless content, as they don't change how Cathay will play in the grand scheme of things. They could make decently strong Doom stacks, but I would personally rather have 3 armies of Jade Warriors than 1 army of Celestial Lions or Moonbirds. The only thing I do like about these units is that you get a mount for your Celestial General Lord, which will make him a much better fighter and give you a bigger reason to recruit them over the other two Lord types. And the Astromancers also get the Moonbird as a mount, which just makes them a more versatile and better hero. But what I really like about these recent additions to Cathay are the heroes. So the legendary hero, Satan the Watcher, has a lot of good bonuses he provides to the army he is embedded in. Whether you have a peasant army or a terracotta doom stack, he will always have something to buff your units. And the best addition, in my opinion, is the Gate Guard hero. Now, there really isn't much substance to him, just a generic melee hero with straining agent action, but he has one skill in particular which reduces the upkeep cost for maintaining your Jade Warriors and gives them melee defense, which just makes him an amazing hero to have. Put multiple of these in your Jade Warrior armies and just make those armies both cheaper and stronger. He's also recruited from the same building from which you get Jade Warriors, which makes it easier to embed him in those types of armies. Just a really valuable hero, even if quite bland and suffering from the same lack of skills to invest your skill points in as the rest of the Cathay heroes. Finally, when it comes to Tzeench, we got a couple of new units, a new hero, and a new lord type. Now, all of these additions to Tzeench are quite valuable in terms of overall value for this DLC. This is because you don't get additions just for Tzeentchian factions, but also the Warriors of Chaos, Beastmen, and the Demon Prince. Which, to be honest, who cares about Daniel at this point? CA certainly don't. So really, each new addition to Tzeench, or any of the other Chaos Gods, is good value. Now, when it comes to the new units, I kind of don't think they're all that necessary for Tzeench to have. Flying Flamers and Light Cavalry just aren't something I think will be all that useful for them, as you already have units that do the exact same job. Flying Flamers just give you no value, as you already have a Flying Flamer unit, and Tzeench has a lot of flying units to disrupt enemy range formations. So really, this is a worthless unit to be added, especially at tier 4. The Centigores are as well a bit worthless for Tzeench, as they are fast but low armor units that you don't want to send into melee against high value enemy melee infantry or cavalry, but just into the enemy range units. The problem with this is that you have Marauder Horsemen, which are the same unit tier, recruited from the exact same building, perform the exact same role, but also have a missile attack and are much cheaper. So this unit really is just not that great of an addition for Tzeench. But it is actually amazing for the Beastmen. This is because for just one use of Dread, you can increase the capacity of this unit as well as of 3 more Centigore units, meaning that by spending the same amount of Dread, you're getting more units than before, and even making me think I should start using them more often in my Beastman campaigns. They really need to do this for Zangors as well. Just let them be increased along the Gore herd and not individually. The Exalted Hero really isn't that amazing. He has the exact same melee line as the other 3 Exalted Hero types. They just specialize more as an anti-large hero and have unique skills to increase either their own strength or increase the barrier replenishment for their army. Not a bad addition at all, if a bit lackluster. As for the new Lord type, I am rather very disappointed. They are the exact same as the other Chaos Lords, where they just get a melee line with some unique melee capabilities, boost the physical resistance of Chaos Warriors, Chosen and similar units, and the unique abilities for Tzeench are just copy-pasted from the Tzeench Chaos Sorcerer Lord. But what I really hate about this Lord is that they can ascend to become the exact same Demon Prince of Tzeench we already have, but they don't even get the unique traits that the Demon Princes get when a Sorcerer Lord ascends. So really, this Lord type is just overall worse than a Chaos Sorcerer in my opinion, and quite the worthless addition to Tzeench. What I really wanted to see from more additions to these races are more ways of playing them, more good options to their playstyle, not just a cool flashy unit that doesn't fit their roster or change the way they play at all. And definitely not a reskin of an already existing Lord type and just calling it a day. Overall, there are some good additions to the Shadows of Change DLC, and there are some bad additions. The Druzhina Lord is quite good and feels fairly interesting to use, while the Tzeench Chaos Lord is just a nothing Lord type. The Kosovite Warriors make me want to explore how I can use them in my campaign, while the Moonbird is something I doubt I will ever recruit. Would I say this DLC is now worth the asking price? Not really. While I no longer think this is a DLC I regret buying, I definitely don't think it is a must-have DLC, nor that it is worth 25 euros. Would I recommend you buy it? Well, kind of, but only if you can get it at a decent discount. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for future content. Thank you all for watching, and until next time.
Khorne's horde fights as one.